Welcome back to Life Under Quarantine. So the last couple days have been interesting and kind of surreal, even for right now. A couple of days ago, I did my first live stream. It was the first time that I've done anything with my creative stuff with only myself as the focus. And as an introvert, that takes some getting used to. I was really anxious leading up to it. And most interestingly, the next day, I was pretty useless. I was kind of in a daze. It really got me to thinking about what's going on right now and how everybody is dealing with it. And it got me to thinking about trauma in particular. Now, I'm not a doctor of any kind, but I do have a lot of experience with mental health issues of my own and how to deal with that, or how I deal with that. So I've noticed in the past, whenever I do anything that really requires me to put myself out there in a way that my lizard brain interprets as threatening, even when it's not, depending on the intensity, it's very common the next day for me to feel completely depleted. Now, I have read that stress burns through our neurotransmitters. And the higher level of stress, I guess the more stress hormones you have in your system, the faster you can go through your available neurotransmitters until they're kind of depleted and you have to wait until your body makes more. That's definitely a good description of how I felt the day after the live stream. I felt emotionally fine, although kind of on the verge of depression, but no real reason for it, in the immediate sense. And I was pretty fuzzy. It was kind of hard to think. It was very hard to focus. And so, having been through similar situations in the past, and with the support of people around me, I took it easy, decided, if I could do any of the work that I wanted to do, great. And if not, that's okay. And it really helped. It was kind of a struggle to get through the day. It was a lot of struggle to focus on anything. I mean, just simple, straightforward things like, oh, I guess I need to eat something now. By evening, by night, I was in a much better place. What's also really interesting to me is I fell asleep about the normal time that I do, which for me is normally pretty late compared to most people. It's almost always after midnight, and that's just the way my body clock seems to be. I had the weirdest sequence of the weirdest dreams, and I kept waking up in between. They weren't nightmares, they were just really intense and really strange. I even woke up my partner at one point unintentionally, and it had gotten really cold last night. So I woke up and I was shivering and I had had weird dreams. And of course, immediately, right now being what it is, my first thought was, oh crap, I have a fever, don't I? Oh God. All the catastrophic thinking started, right? So, having accidentally woken her up when I started awake out of the weird dream I was having, between weird dreams and being shivery, so she immediately suggested she check my temperature, and I was fine with that, but of course, everything was fine. And this happened 3 different times during the night. So today, it's really interesting to look back and see the kind of responses that my body had in dealing with the stress that I put it through, by choice, of course. So the thing I really got to thinking about is just how much stress we're all under right now. it's easy to forget because we get into a routine. I get into a routine. Um, as I've mentioned, being a huge introvert, and I'm finding more and more that I must be the biggest introvert of everyone that I know. But being a huge introvert, staying at home really isn't that much of a burden for me personally. Um, I'm very privileged in that, and I'm grateful for it. Um, but even so, even for me, this is a very stressful situation. And every time I check the news, it's a reminder that this is happening because there's some scary shit going on. So all of us are in that situation exactly right now. We are all dealing with a level of stress that's going to induce a trauma response. And trauma responses are, we can have the loss of focus, the loss of concentration, the fuzziness, the loss of motivation, all of these things. I have definitely felt all of these things, and it cycles, it goes up and down on a daily basis, sometimes even just during the day. But I think the key for me was to give myself the time to recover from the stress that I put myself through and take it easy for a day. And I feel much better today. I feel capable of doing things again. I have my concentration back. I have some focus and motivation back. So I think that's really going to be key as we all go through this, to remember to be kind to ourselves and be patient with ourselves, and to be kind and patient with other people, because we're literally all going through the exact same thing right now. We're all going to deal with it a little differently. And the responses that we have are not always going to be the best. We are sometimes going to forget to treat each other with love and kindness. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to work on keeping that in mind. Honestly, it's really hard sometimes, but that's what we're going to have to do to get through this. So I hope everybody is well. I would love if folks would share what they're doing to kind of get through the day-to-day and the stress. And thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.